And no one else is showing you this, I promise, because I looked at our competitors and there's literally no one else that is showing you how to actually do this. They just show you the BS version. I was on Instagram the other day and I found this video dubbing app that does $60,000 a month after a little bit of research. And since that's literally what I build for my own business and for my community at Kev's No Code Academy, I decided to build it myself. I'm calling it Clonify. And today I'm gonna show you step by step exactly how I built this. At the end of this video, you will have learned to put AI automations onto a website to start selling for monthly recurring revenue. And in a future video, I'll break down the whole marketing process that will get your customers flooding into your new AI SaaS. Once you learn how to add AI automations to a front-end website like Softr, you can literally grab any of the automations that I've given you in these YouTube videos and put them onto websites to start selling to different types of customers. From there, I'm gonna be making a video series of all the different AI agencies that you can build with the AI automation stack that I'm giving to my community. So who am I? My name's Kev, obviously, but I'm a serial entrepreneur. And in 2023, I was running my own gym business down in Miami. And that's when I had an aha moment to literally go all in on AI. And 2 years later, that has proved to be the greatest decision of my life. I now sell AI automations to clients for thousands of dollars per automation. Now that we got all that nonsense out of the way, like, subscribe, and let's get into the meaty video that we have for you guys today. First off, guys, let's just jump into the computer and show you guys exactly what we're building today. So today, we're going to be building an app that can clone your clients' faces and their gestures in their already made content on the internet. We're then going to make them more videos automatically by grabbing new scripts that we used in a previous automation that generates viral scripts for any industry. You already got through that video or you already have my blueprints, don't worry about it. So basically, guys, to actually just show you how this works, first and foremost, is you're going to grab your client's avatar video that you want to upload and you can just add it in here. So I'm just going to upload a video of your client in this spot here. So like in this example, I'm just going to write autodub with a video that I already have made for this. So we're just going to upload this talking head video that you guys can see of me here. There are applications out there like Hootsuite that are literally charging like $100 a month. Okay, so we're just going to open that. And so where it says add your new script here, we're just going to go back to our scripting automation and we're just going to grab one of the scripts that I generated for myself. So as you guys can see here, this is a brand new script that automation made for me to upload. And I don't have time to upload, so I'm just going to copy it and let my clone do the work for me. We're going to head back to the website. We're just going to paste that in. We're going to activate the automation and then it'll run. We'll then get a notification that this actual video is going to be made, as you guys can see here, and we're good to go. So now, after this automation runs, use this initial automation to grab my cloned voice and make my lip sync work. And then once that's all done, we'll get that video back in our Airtable all the way over here. So as you guys can see, we have all of these finished videos in this right-hand side. Now the client will never see this. I'm just showing you how this works. As you guys can see, the audio just got put in. And then in a couple of seconds, we're going to get the video here. But I don't even care about waiting because you guys are going to see how this works anyways. But what this does is it creates the final video. So if I go over on TikTok, I can show you what that looks like as well.
Now with Autodub, I don't have to worry about my short form content plan. It grabs my competitors' best videos, rewrites the script in my own voice, and uploads it all automatically for me.
Okay, so that looks really, really good. And we could have uploaded that right away, which we didn't because, like I said, this is an example. But what I'm going to be doing in real time on this channel is uploading YouTube shorts of the cloned versions of myself, and I'm gonna make it go viral. So if you wanna check in on how legit this thing is, literally just check the YouTube shorts on this channel and see how the quality is. But really quick, guys, I wanna explain why I built it and why an app like this would actually sell really easily. There are a ton of entrepreneurs out there that are already making money online, but they're either A, too shy to be in front of the camera, B, don't have enough time to make the short form videos, or C, just want to turbocharge their channel's growth. And like myself personally, I check off all three of these boxes. So like you can imagine how easy it is to sell to other people with this exact same format. So let's just break down how you can build this project out. I also have a video linked of all the software that you need. So let's jump back into this computer and now let's actually start out this build so you can build your own Clonify. First off, we're gonna head into an Airtable database and we're gonna start building out that database. So we're just gonna call this Clonify YouTube test. You guys call it whatever you want. Okay, so this table here, we're actually gonna call users. And this grid view here, we're gonna call all completions. We're gonna open up one more grid view. It'll make sense in a bit, but we're just gonna call this create video. And that's what's gonna actually trigger the automation to happen, but we'll get there in a sec. So this first column that we're gonna build is going to be called a auto number. So we're just gonna write ID, and this is gonna keep track of every single submission and completion so that we don't get anything mixed up. And the way that we do this is very simple. We just go into this field and we turn it into an auto number. And so every single one of these rows will then have a unique number starting at 1, so it'll never repeat. I'm gonna write client email because that's what we use to actually authenticate the users on our website. We do it by email. So we're just gonna write this email field and save. Then this next one here, we're gonna go client username. We're gonna make this a short line text. We're gonna click save. We're just gonna delete this status field. Next one here, guys, we're gonna write new script. It's going to be a long text, create field. So this next field, guys, is going to be an input field where you're actually going to add the videos that of your client. So like the yellow hoodie video that you guys saw of me is where this video will go. So we're just gonna write video. It's gonna be an attachment and we're gonna create that field. Next one, guys, is gonna be a checkbox. We're gonna write create video with a question mark. We're gonna write checkbox, create that field. This one, guys, will be the new audio that our voice cloning AI does for us. So this is also gonna be an attachment, create that field. And from last, guys, we're gonna write finished video. This is where that completed video with the lip sync and the voice clone is all put together, ready to go. So we're just gonna write an attachment field here as well, create field. And last but not least, guys, we're gonna have to write a record ID. Now, each row in Airtable has a record ID, but we want to visually see it. So in case anything goes wrong, we can actually track back to which record ID messed up the automation. So the way that we do that is we just write formula in the field tab, and we're gonna write rec. It should pop up, and we're just gonna close that parentheses, okay? All this does, guys, it looks more complicated than it is. It just gives you this record ID. Now, this record ID always exists behind the scenes, but we just want to be able to see it now. Okay, so this entire table is done. We're just gonna head over to this create video table and we're gonna write some filters. And the reason why we want to do these filters is so that when the filters are met, the trigger runs and the automation creates the video. And the other reason why is because if you don't put in the right filters, you can possibly then recreate the same video again and again and again and again, and that'll use up all your tokens. It'll cost you money. Your client won't be happy. We're gonna write these conditions step by step. The first one is the client email is not empty. The next one is the client script, the client's new script is not empty. And then the input video is not empty. The create video checkbox is checked off. And lastly, guys, the new audio is empty. Okay, guys, so we're almost done with Airtable. Now we're just gonna head over to this automations tab in the left-hand corner. We're gonna add a trigger. We're gonna click when record enters view. We're gonna select the table, users. The view is going to be create video. And so if we head back to our data, we can see that nothing has been filled out. So we're actually gonna fill this out right now and we can do this together. So the client's email can just be my email. The client username can just be my name. And this new script, like I said, this might actually start clicking for you, is in our scrape automation, we have our scripts already made. And this is printing 8 to 10 scripts a day automatically. It's creating these scripts off of my competitors' viral videos. So like I'm in the AI niche, for example, and so I put all of the other usernames of the AI creators that I'm a fan of, and it grabs their videos every single day and rewrites them and rewrites a new script based on that video for me. And so I open this up, and I can literally just copy this, go back to my new script and paste it in. Now, we're doing this manually because we're building this out. But when this thing's live, all of these inputs that you're seeing on the screen, from the client's email to the new script to the input video, that's all gonna be happening on Softr, which is our website. But for now, we're just gonna be doing it through the Airtable because nothing's built out. Lastly, we're gonna put in our input video. So it was that yellow hoodie that you guys saw. So I'm just gonna write auto dub again. We're just gonna grab that video and open it up. Okay, cool, so that video's in there. And we can head back to this create video. You guys see nothing's in there yet, right? But when we check off this create video checkbox, it'll then populate into this field, into this grid view. And so that means that when all of these pieces of information come in, then the automation will run. It'll never run before or after. And so we can now set up that automation. So we're gonna head back into automations. We're gonna go when a record enters the view. We can now choose that record because it's in the view. Okay, so now we have that record in view and we can move on. So this next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna update that record so that that checkbox automatically gets checked off. And so we're gonna click users. We're gonna grab the same record ID. We're gonna choose the create video checkbox and we're gonna uncheck it, as you guys can see here. And if you guys want, we could even run a test. So we run this test and I can show you what happens. So in this test, it came back successful, but this checkbox has been unchecked. And so the way I can show you that is by going back to data, we can see that this checkbox has now left the view, okay? And it's still gonna be in all completions. And so if I recheck it, it should come back into the view and now we can continue to test our automation. So we're almost done. Let's just head back to our automations. Let's go to run script. And here we're gonna add some custom code, okay? So I'm giving this all in my community, but if you guys want, just pause the screen and copy it, paste this in, okay? And then we're gonna add an input variable. We're gonna call this record ID. Be very careful of the casing here. You want that I to be capitalized. And then you wanna choose your value as that same record ID that we've been talking about. So we're almost done with Airtable. There's just one more step. We have to go to make to actually do that last step. So let's head over to make.com now. We're gonna open up a new scenario. And the first module here, guys, is going to be this watch responses instant ACID trigger. And what that means is the moment that the data gets sent to this webhook, the automation runs. You don't have to be there. But right now we're setting it up. So we're just going to click save and you're gonna copy this address to your clipboard. Okay, so this is your webhook address. So we're just gonna quickly hop over back to our Airtable. We're gonna hop over back to our code that I was talking about. And this webhook was my webhook, right? So you're gonna wanna change this webhook with the one that you just copied. So we're just gonna delete it and copy in the real webhook that you're using in your automation SaaS. So now this is looking good. We can test it. Okay, the test ran successfully, and as you guys can see here, we grabbed the record ID that we needed, so we can just hop out. And now this automation is basically ready to go to send to make. So now that we have this ready to go, we're just gonna click run once, and then we're gonna fire this test action. Okay, so that came back good, and as you see here, we got the record ID that we want to work with. So that's awesome, things are working good. If you made it this far, honestly, I'm proud of you. Like there's not many people that even make it to this step. So we're just gonna click save on the automation and we're gonna rename this. So we're gonna go clonify automation 1 out of 2. We're gonna save it again. And now we can move forward. So this first module here, guys, just received the record ID. The next module is gonna open it up so we can see what's inside. So we're gonna add another Airtable record. This one's going to be get a record and it retrieves a single record by its ID. We're gonna add a new connection type. So we're gonna add this base. So we're just gonna open up this Airtable. We're gonna add a new base. We're gonna go OAuth. You can name this whatever you want. In this case, I'm just gonna name it clonify YouTube test. Save. We just now have the grant access. So I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna find the base that we wanted. So that's clonify YouTube test. I'm gonna grant that access. Okay, boom. So now we can just pick that same base that we've been working with, that clonify YouTube test, add that same table, users, and we're gonna pass that record ID that we got from that watch responses step. So that looks good. We can click OK. We can save this. We can run this once so that the data gets passed. We're gonna go back to our Airtable. We're gonna test the action, and this should fire through. Yep. And now, as you guys can see, we have all the information we need. We have the client email, we have the client username, we have the new script. And so now we can start building out the voice clone. So in this next step, guys, we're actually gonna go to ElevenLabs and create a speech synthesis. Now, ElevenLabs is like the best voice cloning AI in the world. And I already have that account set up and I'm gonna quickly show you guys how to set that up yourselves because it's really simple. But first, I'm just gonna add my connection. So as you guys can see here, there's voice. I'm just gonna write Kev's voice. There you go, we have my voice. The model that you guys want to use is the V1 English. We're going to click that. And you see here the text, we can just pass the new script text right in this step. So that now that you have your cloned voice, it's now going to read that new script, put them together, boom. Have your own cloned voice reading a brand new viral script ready to go. Well, really quick though, let's head over to ElevenLabs so I can show you how you can do this instant voice cloning. When you're in ElevenLabs, all you really have to do is click this add new voice. And you have this instant voice cloning option. You even have professional voice cloning options as well. So like for yourself, I would recommend that. But for your clients, I would recommend instant voice clone. You can just name it whatever you want, right? And then all you have to do is just upload some sample audios of the client speaking, and it'll train on that on those audios. Once that's done, you literally just click add voice, and then the voice will then add to your base. And then once that happens, the integration between ElevenLabs and Make.com is really seamless, and you'll literally be able to just grab your voice that you just made and use it in this automation. So it's really dope. All you need again is just your API key to set this up, but you're given an API key at even like a $5 plan. So it's not, this is like your most expensive thing, and it's not expensive at all. So that's awesome. So this next step, guys, is just a cloud convert. And all this is converting the MP3 file to a WAV file, because we're gonna send that WAV file to our lip sync API, which is gonna sync up your client's video with your new script and make sure that the lip movement is going to be accurate. So we're just gonna write convert a file, and this input file is going to go upload from a file. And as you guys can see here, the ElevenLabs is checked off. Now for the format, all we have to do is select I don't know the input format, and for the output format we could just write WAV. And for the file name, you can basically name this whatever you want. So I'm just going to write cloned voice.wav, and that's good to go. Last thing here, guys, you just want to download this file. Okay, so once that's done, you can click OK. We can, sometimes it glitches out, we can just click OK again. We can click save, and now we can test out the automation that we have built so far. So we're going to run this once. We're going to go back to Clonify. We're going to test that action. It's firing through. It's reading the new script. It's now converting that MP3 file to a WAV file. Okay, beautiful. So we got the end product. This is the temporary URL. This is the file name. If we go back into ElevenLabs, we can actually see the text input to make sure that everything's good. So that's the script that it read. It came back good. So everything's great. We can now move forward. Now that we have this new file of the voice, we need to update it back into Airtable. So we're just going to go open another module. We're going to go to Airtable. We're going to go update a record by its ID. So we're just going to do that same connection, right? So we have that Clonify YouTube test. We're going to choose that same connection, add a base again. It's going to be that same base. Grant access. Okay, cool. So now we're just going to choose the same base. We're going to choose that user table. And now we have all of this information to update back, but there's only two things that you actually need to update. So this first one is the record ID. Map in that ID, and we can map in that new audio that you see here. So we're going to click add item. File URL is going to be this temporary URL, and the file name is going to be that cloned voice.wav. Nothing else you have to do. You can leave the rest blank. We can click OK. We can save the automation. So now we have the original video file and the new cloned voice file, and now we want to merge them together. This software called SyncLabs, which is simply just a free API tool, syncs up your lips with the voice and the video. So let me just show you how that works. We're going to go into this HTTP. We're going to make a request. You guys will have this, or you can just copy me. So I'm just going to paste in that URL. We're going to leave this method as post because we're posting this information on their website. To add your own API keys right in here. So I'm going to add my own here real quick. So the first thing that you need to write is x-api-key, and then the API that you actually get from SyncLabs, it'll go right in here. You guys want to make sure though that like it's really, really annoying, but you want to make sure that this space here is not there. So you actually want to backspace it and make sure that this that your tab bar is actually right at the last letter. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's how it works. This next header though, guys, we're gonna write content-type. We're gonna capitalize that C, and then we're gonna write application/JSON. Okay, so now your headers are determined, so that looks good. We can move on. So the body type is gonna be raw. The content type is gonna be JSON, application JSON. And this request content, guys, you guys can just copy me or grab the blueprint. So basically, I'm just gonna paste that in. We're not done just yet. We're just gonna click parse response. And then you gotta map in the video, the audio, and this new ID. So basically, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna map in the video. So you see it wants the video, and we have the video all the way back in our get a record step. So right here, it says input video. We can grab that URL and paste it in. Okay, I pasted it in the wrong spot. Let me just do that again. It's gonna be right here, and URL, paste that in, okay? Now the audio will be this new audio. So you can open that up, URL, paste it in. Now, this doesn't have that audio right now because we didn't run the automation. So as you guys can see here, the Airtable here doesn't have this one sign because we didn't run it yet. But we're gonna run it right after this and you guys will see that it'll work. And last but not least, this is very, very important, guys. So in your webhook, there's a lot of things that you have to change. So first of all, we're gonna change the webhook itself, which is gonna be this. And then you're gonna also change the Airtable ID. Okay, so this is the most confusing part of the entire process. So really, really try and dial this in. But for now, we know that this is gonna fail because we have to push the information through, so it doesn't even matter. We're just gonna click OK and close it out. You can save the automation, and we're just gonna run this one more time. So we're gonna go test action. This should fire through. Okay, boom. So we're creating that exact same script that actually ended up kind of working. It says it worked, but there's a couple of things we have to tweak. But what we can do in the meantime is, since this update of record module worked, we can go back into our Airtable. We can go to data. We can go to all completions. And you guys can see here that we have that new voiceover audio. So if we play it, this should be my voice clone reading my new script. So let's see.
Did you know you can use AI to create and manage your very own content channel?
Okay, so that's absolutely perfect. We can come back here and we can start mapping in the correct stuff that we need. So the first thing that we need, like I said, is that input video URL, which comes back in step 2. So all the way back here. Then this next one would be that audio, which would be in step 5, which would be right here. And then the last thing that we want to do is also pass that Airtable ID, because we need to still extract that Airtable ID so we know which row to return the video to. This blueprint as well is gonna come with my webhook, right? So you're gonna want to eventually replace this with your own webhook. So I'm gonna just show you what that looks like. First of all, just understand that you're done this automation. Like this automation here is done. Now you just have to do the second one and the entire thing's done and we can move on to the website build. So I'm just gonna save this. And we're going to open up another scenario. I'm going to click create new scenario. I'm going to drag that all the way over. Okay. All right. So this first one is going to be an instant webhook. So we're just going to write webhook. We're going to pick up this custom webhook here. I'm going to create a new webhook, save it. And then you'll have this new address that you can send your data to, right? So you're just going to copy that. You're going to head back to automation number 1. You're going to go back to that request content. And we're going to change out this with your own webhook. So now this output is going to be sent to you and not to me. Okay, so that's all good to go. We're going to click OK. Now that we have this webhook here, we can actually test it out to see if we can receive back the video response. So we're going to run this once. It's going to be waiting for this response here. So we're going to run this as well. We're going to go back to our Airtable and we're going to test that action. Okay, that came through. So this is firing. We're now creating our new script with our cloned voice, converting that MP3 to a wave. Okay, we updated the record. Now we're making a request to our API to actually combine the video and the new audio together. So that came back good. So now this webhook is only going to check off when the entire video is completed. And if you guys saw how big the script was, this should take about a minute, okay? So if it's taken some time, don't worry, because it takes time to actually get your lips to be dubbed completely on a minute-long video. While that's happening, guys, if you're still here, smash this like button, subscribe to the boy. This video alone has taken weeks out of my life. So while that's happening, guys, some other things I can show you is that the maximum duration of the video that you can create using ElevenLabs is a total of 5 minutes. So if you are making like a 30-minute video of someone talking, you could also chunk it up in 5-minute intervals, but this automation is mainly for short form content. I have a whole new tutorial of how you can make long form AI podcasts coming soon with video, but this automation is more tailored for short form videos that are less than 5 minutes long. Another way that you can check that this make a request is working is that this status code is a 201. That means that it's actually like fired through successfully. And then you can also look inside of this data and see the status is pending, okay? Sometimes if it takes too long, you can also change the model. I'm using their quicker model called Sync 1.7.1. So that's just if you were like are in a hurry and you want to actually create this video. Okay. After about like a minute or so, we got back the completed status. Now I made one mistake, so that's why I had to go back and fix it. But other than that, it actually is all good to go. So if we open up this entire webhook, we can actually see that we got the output URL. So this is your completed video. Okay. So this is the video that you originally put in with the script that you made and with the clone voice all put together. So let's go to our next step. This next step here, guys, is going to be Airtable get a record. So we're going to retrieve the record ID that came into this webhook and we can open it back up. So we're going to choose that Clonify YouTube test connection. We're going to then choose that Clonify YouTube test base. We're going to choose that users table, and then we're going to choose that record ID that we just pushed through from Airtable. Click OK. We can save that. That's an easy step, so we can move forward. So now that we have the record ID and we have the final video, we can now update it all back into Airtable for our clients to see. So we're going to go update a record. Okay, so for this record ID, it's a mandatory field, so that's why we had to pass it through the webhook. And we're just going to go Airtable ID here. And the only thing that we have to put in is this finished video. So we're just going to grab that file URL. That output URL is going to be right here. And we can name this whatever we want. So in this example, we should just name it finished video.mp4. Okay, beautiful. We can click OK. We can save this automation. And we are basically done with the backend. Okay, so now let's just check that everything works. So we're just going to run this once. We're going to go back to the first one. We're going to run that. We're going to go back to the Airtable and we're just going to trigger the test. So test action. Okay, and we'll see how things end up. Okay, that fired over to the API call, so we can wait for this webhook. Okay, cool, that all fired through. So if this came back all good, what should happen is we should be able to go to this database, go to our data, and you see here this finished video. This should be the yellow hoodie video that I uploaded with the new script that we made, and my lips should be synced.
Did you know you can use AI to create and manage your very own content channel, all on autopilot? Here's how. Start by opening ChatGPT and using our custom tool that provides 100 fresh prompts for creating beats or your desired content type.
Okay, boom. So the entire thing works. Now we can save our entire backend and we can now start connecting it to a website so that our clients will have a more presentable field, because everything that you just had to do, we don't want our clients that are paying us money to do, right? So we need to put this on a website. So we're gonna head over to this hosting platform called Softr. Okay, so this is the app that we're actually working on. So we're just gonna create a new one. And for the community, I could just make this as a template. So you guys could just use this as a template. Now, to be honest, this isn't the most in-depth template. So I'm actually not gonna release this exact model. I'll be making a better template for you guys. Basically, these are the pages that you need, right? So I'm actually gonna make this even simpler for you guys. So I'm gonna delete some of this other pages here that we don't need we need a sign up, sign in page. We need this home page. And we need this finished videos page. The rest of this stuff can kind of go away for now. So we're just gonna delete the rest of them so it's easier for you guys to learn. Okay, beautiful. So the first thing that we wanna connect is our entire data source. So if you guys see here, we're just gonna be able to connect our entire data source to our user tables. So we're just gonna click sync with data source, and we're just gonna add that data source that we've been working on in this entire video. So we're gonna go down, grab that Clonify YouTube test. We're gonna grant access. And we're going to grab that table. And so now this is when users sign in, right? So the thing that we're gonna map the sign into is that email that I was talking about. So we're gonna map it, see map user fields to client email. Then you can go mapping the name to the client username. And if you really wanna get in depth with it, you can even add an avatar profile picture. For now, we're just gonna skip that. We're gonna click save and link. So this should bring my email. So there you go. We have our email that we already put into our Airtable. But from now on, every single time that you add a user, you're going to be doing it through Softr. So you don't have to worry about the Airtable anymore. It's already built. So this all looks good. Like different user groups that you can add. So like in this example, I added myself as a founder because it just gives you all the access that you need. But in the future, you can start learning user groups when like you start charging for payments, right? So like a paid user will have a different access than a free user. or a signed in user will have more access than a not signed in user. Again, for today, it's not important. What's important is connecting our automation to our website. Okay, so now that we have the data in, we need to know which pages do what, right? So the first page is going to be sign up. And so when a user comes in and they put in their name, we need to now send where this information goes. So instead of writing full name, we're going to change that. We're going to change that to username. The input type is going to be text. So it actually already did that for us, but it's mapped to that client username that I was talking about. This next one here too, it's mapped to that client's email that we were talking about, and they can also create a password if they'd like. So that all looks good. So we can now publish this. So we click preview. This is the new landing page that you get your users to give you their information, right? So you get their username, you get their email, you get their password. It's so much more pretty than having them to look at the Airtable. So like in this example, guys, we're gonna make another user. So it'll be a backup email that I have. So this username will be Kevin Backup, and the email will just be one of my backup emails. And then I'm just gonna write password 123456. I agree and sign up. So now that I'm signed up, we can now check our database. So there we go. We have our database already mapping our email and our client's username. So things are looking really good right now, guys. If you made it this far, you almost built your own AI SaaS in one video. If you're learning this fast, that means the world is literally opening up to you with this crazy technological wave that's happening. So we have the sign up page now set up with our Airtable. Now let's go to our homepage. Now at our homepage, we have like our hero image where it explains how this thing works. So upload your video and your script, create new video, and then eventually we can even update it. We can add some updates where we add our AI automation editor. So if you want to watch that, that's one of our older videos where we can edit captions, we can edit text on screens, we can even edit dead air time. So sometimes these clones, they pause between sentences, and we know the attention span of kids on TikTok is non-existent. So we need to be able to cut that dead air time, and eventually we will have that all in one application. But for now, we're just gonna have the upload your video script and create new video. So we don't have to worry about this page. We're gonna worry about this form field, okay? So this right here is what's called a form block. So if you look here, guys, you see this form block. Now again, you guys are gonna have this template, but just good to know that you can add these blocks as you go. So there's these blocks options that you can add, and here we have it set up where it sends this information to our Airtable, okay? So we're just gonna get rid of this data source. We're gonna add the data source that we're using in today's video. That'll be the Clonify YouTube test. The table will be users. And that is now set up. So now we can add questions. So the first question will be upload the video of the avatar that you want to clone. So this upload will be that yellow hoodie, for example. So it'll be a file type. We will map it to the input video. And that is good to go. See, it actually also has this color that shows you whether or not your field mapping has been correct, so has been done correctly, which is awesome. So that green light means you're good to go. We can move down. Now we're gonna add the script. So the script's gonna be a long text. We're gonna map it to that new script, and that has now switched to green. So that's good to go. Lastly, they just wanna check off that box, because if you remember in the Airtable, that checking of the box is what triggers the automation. And so we want them to check off the box because we want them to do this all by themselves, right? So we want them to go in here, map this checkbox to the create video that we have in our Airtable, and that will actually trigger the automation once they click that create video. So all of that's good as well. We can test to see if it works by going to publishing these updates, and we can go back into preview. So in preview, guys, I'm actually just gonna do the exact same thing that we just did in this first example, but now we're gonna do it on our website. Go to our upload here. We're gonna write auto dub we'll have that same video, but this time we're going to change the script, right? So we're going to write, this is a new script for showing you guys that the website is now connected to our automation. How cool. I would then check off that automation and I would create video. So there's one error here in the bottom left, so we have to go back, client email. Oh, okay, oh yeah. So there's two more steps that I forgot, guys. So you're actually gonna add a couple of hidden details, okay? So the hidden details is gonna be that client username and that client email. And so all we have to do is just map that back to the client email. This is nothing that they're gonna do. It's just going to basically say that the signed in user is going to be the same user that's sending in this request, so that Jerry doesn't get Daniel's video or Daniel doesn't get Jerry's video, right? They all need to get their separate videos. Now that looks good, we're gonna click publish updates. I'm gonna preview it one more time, and we're just gonna send in those same forms. So we're just gonna write autodub. Click that, open it. And then we're gonna write, this is a test to show you guys that the website is now connected to the database and the automation. We're gonna now check this box and create video. Okay, so in this left-hand corner, we wrote, we got your video and script. Please check back in a minute or so in your dashboard. And as you guys see here, you have the user dashboard. So once the video is done, you'll see that it's in there, but I want to show you guys what's going on behind the scenes. We go into our database. We see that the create video has been checked, which means that if we go down to this create video grid, it's ready to be fired. Now we can turn on all of our automations. Okay, so right now we've been doing everything manually. Okay, so here, you want to go back to automations, and you see in this top left-hand corner, you just want to turn it on. And so now that data will instantly fire to your automation, right? So you're gonna stay right here with me because the automation itself is not triggered. So this part here, you're also gonna turn it on. So it's immediately as data arrives. You're gonna click OK, you're gonna go back, you're gonna save the changes, you're gonna toggle this on. You're gonna go to automation number 2, you're gonna go immediately as data arrives, you're gonna click OK, you're gonna go back, and you're gonna toggle this on. So now all the automations work, they're all connected together, and this thing's ready to fire away. To see if everything works, guys, we're just gonna go back to Softr and we're gonna redo what I just showed you, but now the automations are turned on. So technically speaking, I should be able to put this in, sit back, wait a minute or two, and my video with my new updated clone with my new script should be in my dashboard. So I'm gonna go upload the avatar that you want to clone here. We're gonna write autodub. I'm gonna grab that video. So now this is a test to show you that the entire automation is working with our website for our client. We're gonna check that box. We're gonna click create video. So now it says we got your script. Now I gotta be kind of quick here. So it went in here, it already fired away. I know it did because we can go back to our automation. We can see that everything's firing, right? It happens that fast. So it literally grabbed it, it checked it off here. This thing checked, it dropped down, and then it disappeared. So I was able to show you there at that time. So we're actually gonna get 2 responses back, but that's fine. So once this part's done, it'll then push to here all automatically. And then when that's done, we can go to our dashboard and we can wait for that video to arrive. But we didn't set up that video to arrive yet. So that's our last step, right? So we're gonna go to pages. We're gonna go to finish videos. We're gonna tap on this block and we're gonna add in your Airtable base, just like we've been doing. So now I'm gonna click Clonify YouTube test. I'm gonna click users. Here, guys, is the last important step here is that you're gonna have multiple clients on your SaaS. And so you want to only show your clients' finished videos that belongs to them. You don't want to show them like the Daniel and Jerry example. So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to write if client email is logged in users client's email, then show them the finished videos. Okay, so now everything's done. We're just gonna click content, and we're just gonna map that content video to the finished video that we just generated. And we're going to publish. So now if we preview this, we should see 1 to 2 videos back here from our finalized. Yes, we have 3 videos back here from our signed in user from that step back email account, right? So if I switch the email account, right? So if I switch from user Kevin Backup to Kevin Batty, you'll see this table's different. See, this table only has 1 video, and that's because these are different users. And so that's to show you guys that this video, this entire automation, all the way to a front-end website works. And the only thing you have to do from here is add a Stripe account and you can start charging money. It's pretty crazy. So you believe me that this thing works, we can open up this video tab and here's the video.
This is a test to show you that the entire automation is working with our website for our client.
Boom.